Hi, I'm Carla Higgins, and this is the Double Duty Agent Podcast. I am so glad you're here. Each week, we get together and we explore the stories of successful double duty real estate agents. And from their stories, you can find the solutions to overcoming your challenges and the keys to unlocking your success. Are you ready? Let's get started. And welcome back to the Double Duty Agent Podcast. I'm your host, Carla Higgins. Today, I want to share with you some of my key takeaways from the 2025 Keller Williams family reunion. We just got back from Las Vegas, and today we're going to talk about the big picture insights from the vision speech that Gary Keller, Jay Papazan, and Jason Abrams provided for us. So if you had an opportunity to attend family reunion, I'm sad that I didn't get to meet you, or I'm happy if I did. And if you were not in attendance and you missed the live stream, no worries. So I'm going to fill you in here. And then at the very end of this episode, I'm going to give you some other keys on how you can really dive into the vision speech and also figure out how you can incorporate what we learned into your business and into your presentation. So we'll talk about that at the very end. But for right now, grab your favorite beverage, get all comfy, and let's dive in. We started off family reunion and the vision speech with a conversation about KW Cares and the Keller Williams culture of giving. And I had an opportunity to talk to an agent that was from a different brokerage who was attending as a guest. And his comment to me was, boy, you at Keller Williams, you guys really have culture nailed down. And that made me feel so very proud because that is the reason why I choose Keller Williams as my brokerage. So before they dove into the market statistics, Gary, Jay, and Jason, they highlighted KW Cares, and it was just a real powerful reminder of the contribution that we collectively as Keller Williams agents make to our community. And if you're listening and you're not with Keller Williams, I promise I'm going to be really brief here. But again, it's something I'm very, very proud of. They shared some heartwarming stories of how Keller Williams agents and volunteers have shown up when disasters strike, and then always ready to offer help and resources to those in need. And they shared a couple of things. They told us that the KW Cares trucks often arrive before the Red Cross or even FEMA. Imagine that. And that over $4.8 million in relief was provided for grants and disasters in the last year. And 2.4 million of that was just for the hurricanes. We watched a video about KW Cares and how they responded to the awful, awful fires in California. And if you happen to be an agent in one of the areas that's been struck by recent natural disasters, then my heart goes out to you. And I'm so proud to be part of an organization that takes care of their own. So I just wanted to mention that. And if you are a Keller Williams agent, I would ask you to consider what I consider tithing, right? Tithing to my family, but just give a small donation each time you have a closing. And those small donations will really add up over time. So KW Cares can continue to provide the support to our fellow family members when they are in need. All right. So then Gary, Jay, and Jason jumped into the housing market overview, and we're just going to talk about the U.S. today. And there are also some slides in the vision speech that are around our neighbors to the north. And if you are hailing from Canada, I am not skipping over you, but we only have so much time on today's podcast. So we are going to talk about the U.S. market. So this was the bulk of the presentation. And you know, they always tell us, and it's always true, that pretty much the Canadian market and the US market, they track very similarly. So I think that you'll find a lot of this very insightful for you as well if you are one of our Canadian brethren. All right. So we had a huge slide deck. There are more than 80 slides in the slide deck. And if you are a Keller Williams agent, you can get that slide deck. If you just go into your command and at the upper left-hand corner, you choose connect and then type in Family Reunion 2025, and you will be able to download that slide deck. So these slides are all about the vision speech is about telling us where our market stands and also a little bit of insight as to where it's likely headed. And our chief economist at Keller Williams was not at at family reunion this year like he always is. So Ruben was apparently home ill, and we missed him terribly. But I know that he's the one that is so impactful in creating these slides. So the first thing that we talked about was sales volume and unit sales volume and unit sales. And really, we're kind of in a lull regarding the number of homes sold, pretty close to the lowest since 1995. So the number of units sold, and it kind of, I got the impression from the conversation that it might take 3 or 4 years for us to get back to normalized transaction volumes. However, this is not necessarily bad news, all bad news, because despite the fact that we had fewer units sold, the total market sales volume has remained strong. Like, I think they said third or fourth highest of all time. So absolutely, absolutely, this is a good market. So, and then with 60% of agents, this was stunning to me. 60% of agents closed no transactions last year. So that means that there is a large group of agents that are out there doing the things that they need to do to be successful, and they have market share. So if you would like to take some market share, all you have to do is take the right actions. And if you're with me every week, you know what those right actions are. So you just need to take those. And this just really brought that home for me. Gary J and Jason also talked about this 4% trend line. And historically, home prices appreciate about 4% a year. And right now, we're setting almost 10% above that trend line. So homes are still above, meaning that if you purchased a home, if you purchased a home 10 years ago, you're very happy with your equity. And we know this from the equity numbers that we see that people's homes have appreciated. They told us that if homes saw zero appreciation for the next couple years, we might get closer to that historic curve. But forecasts predict at least modest positive price growth. So if we have modest positive price growth, then we are not going to catch up to that trend line. The takeaway here was, for me, was that real estate remains a strong long-term investment. So rather than waiting for the perfect time to buy real estate, you let the time work for you. You're never buying at the top of the market. You're just buying in the current market, and the market's going to continue to go up. All right, interest rates. We've been seeing the interest rates hovering right around 6 to 7%, and this is actually near a historical average. And about 74% of current mortgages are locked in at 5% interest rate or less. And this is a big reason why some homeowners are still hesitant to move. And then 76% of homeowners have at least 50% equity. That's incredible, isn't it? That opens the doors for moving up, having